Hello, everyone. So we have another video about the equation of the circles. Okay, so we have a couple of ways to represent the equation of a circle, and one of the ways that we used to have was the standard form. But another way is actually using a expanded form, which is actually what we have right now. Okay, so whenever you see a bunch of like terms, x and y's, especially squares of those as well. So it's better to think about the expanded form of the equation. But before we do, we just want to remember the standard form. So, if you have a equation that is x minus h to the second power plus y minus k square equals r squared. And this is the first form that we actually had. And in this form, the number after this minus, which is going to be h, and after the minus is k, h comma k is our center. Okay, so that would be my center of the circle. And the r right here is the radius. So we had this before, okay? And now we are gonna use expanded form to get this, and then we are gonna find the center and the radius, okay? But to do so, we need to remember the completeness square, because in order for us to get this form, we need to actually use completeness square approach to get this expression, so or equation. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna combine the x terms together, so that will be x squared minus 6x, and then I will leave a little bit space, and then I'm gonna go ahead and write the other terms, which is gonna be y squared minus 6y, which is this guy and this guy. I have plus 2. So let me leave a bit more space, and that is equal to 0. So the reason why I'm leaving some space, because I want to complete a square. I had 2x term that is given, and then I'd like to get only one x term, which is something like that. So if you remember how to use the complete square when you have some expression, so you really need to review those before you try this one, because this is basically a good application of the complete square as well. So I'm just gonna divide this number by 2, which is -6 divided by 2. So let's do it right here. And then square this guy, which is gonna be just 9. So you need to add 9 right here. So you could subtract 9, because when you add 9, you change the question. So let's add and subtract the same number. So we just basically add 0 to the given equation, which doesn't change anything. And the same thing goes right here. So I have like -6 if you divide by 2 and square, so you will get 9. So I'm going to add 9 and subtract 9. So this is exactly the same as this one. Only thing is we just add 2 zeros, which doesn't make any difference, right? And if you take a look at these three terms, this is going to be a perfect square, which will be x minus 3 to the second power, because this is minus. So, and then the half of this guy was -3, which is basically my second term. And then these three term is gonna be y minus 3 to the second power. Okay, and I have -9, I have -9, I have plus 2. So maybe I can combine those. That's -18 plus to -16. If I add 16 to both sides, so I will get 16, which is gonna be 4 squared. So now this is actually same as this form. So we have x minus 3, y minus 3, which means 3 right here. Maybe I should use different color. So the number after this minus and the number after this minus is going to be my h and k's, which is 3 comma 3 is my center. And then the r square was the right side of the equation in this case, which is 4 squared. So the r is my 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So this is 3, and this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so this is the first problem. So I hope that was clear so far. Okay, so this is the next problem. So we are going to use the same approach. So let's combine the x terms together. So that will be x squared plus 14x. And then I will leave some space. So y squared minus 10y. And then we have 65, which is equal to 0. So we are gonna divide this by 2, which is 7, square that guy, which will be 49. So I may subtract 49 from here, but instead of doing this, maybe I will add the same number to the other side, because this is another way to do adding 0 both sides basically, or adding same number, which doesn't make sense. I mean, which doesn't change anything, I meant. So, and then if I divide this by 2, which is -5 squared, so you will get plus 25. So I add 25 to the left side. So if I add the right side as well, which will be okay. So now we have these 3 terms will make a perfect square, which is same as x plus 7 squared. Okay, and then these 3 terms will make another perfect square, which is going to be y minus 5 squared. Again, 7 is just the half of this coefficient. -5 is just the half of this guy, or 7 is just the square root of this guy, which is 7, or square root of this 25 is 5, but this is a minus because we have the middle term is minus, okay? So, and now I can say, you know, subtract 65 from both sides, so to cancel this 65, okay? So that will be minus 40, so 49 minus 40 is just 9. So that means this is equal to 3 squared. So again, in our general like standard form, so we need to have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. If you are wondering why this is the equation in the first place, maybe it's better to review how we got this in the first place by using distance formula. But right now we are just using it. So we need to have a minus after the x term, right? So which is we don't have right there. So I can write x minus -7 squared, and then this is already minus. So we are fine with that. And that will be equal to 3 squared. So now we have this guy as my h, which is gonna be x coordinate. And then this guy is gonna be my y, that's gonna be my y coordinates, which is my center. And then the radius will be just 3, okay? So that is the same question as you see, only thing numbers has just changed. So we are gonna go with these two, okay? So I hope that was clear. So that's the same question, so only numbers change, and I'll see you in the next video.